Oh, Willet Hauser has been around for 116 years. I mean, it's the icon of American stained glass. When I was afforded the opportunity was offered it by the family, the Hauser family, and approved by the Willet family, and it was quite an honor. You know, it's definitely the pinnacle of the industry. It's the icon of American stained glass. You know, we've learned a lot from what they do, of course, and we've also been able to change some things which we've learned. And together with the staff at Associated Crafts and the staff here at Willet Hauser, we've been able to merge ideas and to really come out with some changes that have been for the better.
Now it's all family, it's been family, and this is what's so great about it. It's just something that's family, family, family. And I think the way it's growing right now, it brings your ability in with what they've already developed and what Crosby Willet and the Willets started, and then Hausers took over and they started, and now it's becoming better and better and better. And there's not too many family ones left, and it's really great because all the generations, from the Willets with 2 or 3, and now the Hausers with 3 or 4 boys, and Mr. Hauser, now Johnny with the 3 of us, so there's 3 more generations. So over the period, I'm guessing there's probably 8 or 10 generations of people. And another nice thing about the studio is it started in Pittsburgh in 1896. There's Willet windows everywhere. Every day I get a call, will you come look at our window? I got a call from the museum in Youngstown yesterday, and you know, everything is positive, you know, and we've got so much because of the different families to work, from Henry Willet to Crosby Willet and everybody. We were in a church in Pittsburgh. It was original Willet window that was put in the back there. It's in the historic register and all of that stuff. And it is all positive. And people, it's not all price anymore. It's, I want to preserve our church. It's history.
My role is to organize the technology of the company. The main framework of the company has obviously been based around the work it's done with stained glass windows. We've got the largest library of stained glass, which we're currently digitizing and putting into a framework that is accessible by the public on the web. And all of our proposals that we give to churches are based on that framework. The proposals are all computerized, of course, and we have a very large database of all of the windows at the churches that the company has historically done business with and that we've expanded upon. We have a web presence that enables people internal to the company to log in and have back-end services for content management. We have the ability for customers to get on our website and generate appraisals for their stained glass windows, so they can upload pictures of the windows at their churches. They can put in the dimensions, the descriptions of those windows, request an online appraisal. We get that information, and then we apply a formula that we have for ourselves to that. With the appraisals, for example, one of the things that it enables is if there's a catastrophic loss, we've got a repository of what the windows look like, the main artistic motif of the church, and we're able to generate those windows from scratch should there be a fire or some other loss. And that's happened. So it's very much an active business model that we're using technology to the advantage of the customer. With a 116-year-old company, there's a huge body of information to digitize and to index and build on, and so it's a matter of doing it incrementally in ways that make sense both for the customer and economically for the business. And little by little, we're going back to the old stained glass images and the old stained glass proposals and finding out some really beautiful testimonials from years gone by. And sure enough, you go and see those customers or connect with those customers, and there's an ongoing legacy of work that we have with those churches today.
We do everything digital. All the road crews have iPads, so they're out there taking photos immediately of the work that's being done, and they're emailing it directly to me. So I have it in seconds instead of waiting for the mail. I don't have to get anything developed. So we're saving trees, and we're also getting paperwork quicker. And even the production reports, the job report, the completion report.
So one of the technological advances our company has gone through is to incorporate iPads into all levels of production. We were able to document everything digitally with digital photography in the last 10 years. That allows us to organize all of our clients' information in one place. Our crews, our salesmen go out and photograph windows and can store the entire project and all the details of it digitally in our cloud-based proposal system. That allows us, for insurance purposes or any other reason, to have documentation of a church's windows forever. If there are issues with vandalism or things breaking, we're able to go back, or natural disasters, we're able to go back to all of those images and easily at our fingertips pull up any information on them. They also have window measurements and the condition at the time when they were inspected. All of that information is dated and stored for the client. From there, all of our crews, as they are installing windows, get the information directly from the salespeople through this program, and that allows them to do their job easily. Everything is organized.
Well, even that, the salespeople, we're getting them with iPads also, so that when they go out to do an appraisal or an inspection, or they go out to write up a proposal for the customer, and they're walking around with the priest, then they can take their photos right then of the work that needs to be done, because it's very important for us. That's how we determine what work needs to be done to the windows, is from those pictures. And it helps with the salesman's notes, but he can type everything on his iPad and send it right over, and then we have the ability to generate that proposal right away, especially if it's in a rush. But then we also have the pictures. Pictures are so important to us, because it gives us, access. Do I need a lift? Do I got to get over a stairwell? Do I got to climb over some bushes? Is there an awning? And it gives us the condition of the windows. A lot of time the wood framing around the windows needs some work, and then we know it gives us sizes and dimensions, and then it just gives us an overall of what's needed to the windows. So we take before photos, which is the salesman's responsibility. We create the proposal, and then once the proposal's signed, then we schedule the work, and the road crew goes out. They do the work, and then they take the after pictures. So then, now we're getting into social media, we'll take the before pictures and we'll put an after picture right next to it, so that you can see the difference. It's huge. Because after 20, 50 years, you've got grime and dirt and just normal wear and tear, and then we make that window just shine, and it glistens, and it's just beautiful. We have every single customer fill out a completion report. Before we leave the job site, we want to make sure that you're 100% happy. We have done everything to your satisfaction, and that you are 100% pleased, or we won't leave. We're not leaving until you're 100% pleased. And just a good way to make sure our customer satisfaction is always there. And again, I get those reports immediately, so if there is a question or something a church has a question about, I can address it immediately. It's not a week down the road when the mail finally catches up to me. And I think the customer appreciates that we're on top of it, we're watching these things, and we want to make sure that you're happy and that you're pleased with everything that we've produced.
In stained glass, there's a part of art, a part of preservation, a part of nostalgia that every person we work with understands that side of it, and they're glad to see you come, they're glad to have you there. When you're done, they're grateful that you were there. They were grateful that you came to help them to preserve their stained glass or their heritage. Here at Willet Hauser, we do not replace glass just because it's cracked. two pieces that used to be one is worth more and more valuable in the antique value in the restoration field than to take that piece of glass and take and make a new one and repaint it. It probably would look good for the layperson, that would be the correct way, but it's not our way.
When our customers come to us, we spend a great deal of time educating them and explaining to them the ins and outs, the reasons we develop particular scopes of work for their jobs, the pros and cons of the variety of scopes of work. With a studio of this size and these amount of resources with craftsmen and artists, we don't have to design a scope of work based on what we can do. We can do every scope of work this industry needs. So when our salespeople or representatives and consultants meet with a client, they're able to customize the scope of work needed for that particular client. And then they can explain it and teach the client how to do that. That, along with the proper insurance coverage, A+ Better Business Bureau rating, a Dun & Bradstreet financial stability report that exceeds all expectations, gives our clients the peace of mind knowing that their historical, priceless stained glass windows are in the best of hands.
You know, you have pride and ownership in what we've done. It's like, you know, we helped restore this for you. We helped keep your historical value of what your church has always been and brought it back into, you know, a newer state of being to where you could keep it and enjoy it for another 100 years. So I like it.
One of my personal favorite restoration projects was after a natural disaster. Hurricane Ike came through Galveston, and there was a beautiful Tiffany window that had a section of it that completely blew out in the storm. I actually went down 2 weeks after the hurricane, the day after people started going in to see their homes, and it was sad to see all of that, but also sad to see this window in terrible condition. And we had to have drapery glass recreated to match the original. After the entire project was done, I couldn't tell the difference between the new and the old, and so that means we did our job.
We've ran into actual Willet windows back from the early 1900s, like 1950s, 60s, I believe. So yes, there's some other artist names that aren't coming to mind yet, but yes, we have run into those. And it's kind of cool. The guys get all excited and they'll send us a picture because usually in the corner somewhere is the signature of the artist. Like it'll say Willet and it has a date.
Apprentice program, I mean, you know, years ago, people would move into the industry and stay with it and live it, and it's went backwards for a long time, and there was nothing formal out there. Well, this studio, being a studio that's been on for over a century, had actually lost touch with its apprentice program as well. We thought it was very important to bring the apprentice program back, and we're very excited we did. We've had people contacting us from all over the country. The newest one, Sydney, who just graduated from an art school in Baltimore. She's from New Jersey, relocated here. Lauren, who is assistant librarian as well as in any apprentice program, is an art history major. University of Pennsylvania, did her internship at the Met, and is now relocated here to Winona and is working in the studio every day. So the young talent that we're being able to attract by having a formal apprentice program has just been unbelievable, and it's showing in the growth of the studio. This studio right here, we happen to be sitting in the art department, the art section of the Winona studio. This is where Melissa Janda, who's head of the art department, does most of her painting, and as well as her apprentice. Christopher Tiffany, which is a descendant of Liz Comfort Tiffany, who's now aboard here at Willet's, is also working. And we've also been acquiring other apprentices. We now have 17 people in the apprentice program that are under 40 years of age. So it's been exciting to get that kind of renewed interest in the art of stained glass. I think it's an exciting time. We're very, very excited about digitizing the library. We want to bring the work that's been done from this stained glass icon to the American people, to the people around the world. There's many people that are interested in what we've done here. It's been, the Willets have produced monumental art for a long time and competed with many, many other studios successfully. But we have around 19,000 renderings. So there's many people that look at what we do, and we want to be able to use the digitizing the library to be able to bring it to them and allow them to enjoy it and see it and grow from it.
The Willet Hauser Library was started in 1956 when Helene Weiss, who was the former librarian and worked for the studio for 50 years, was hired to organize a porch full of designs. And she turned what was on that porch into what we have now, which is approximately 20,000 original pieces of artwork. Right now we're in the process of digitizing all of our renderings, so nearly 20,000 original designs we hope will be digitized very soon and available to the public, as well as our sales consultants who can access the archive and search for the designs that they would like to show to their clients. It could also be used for educational purposes. Digitizing this collection is important to the public because it's part of North American history, part of the art history of the United States, as well as the history of stained glass. A lot of times churches will contact us when they're researching their stained glass windows, and they're always fascinated to see what the original artwork looked like before their window is made. That happens quite a lot, and it's always wonderful to be able to share these works with them.